Halloween
Forever.
Hey, good evening. How's it going, everybody?
It's great.
Got a quick one for you, Steve. What is the difference between a lion and a tiger?
A lion and a tiger. I mean, it's the stripes. That's the obvious answer. But I'm sure you have some other answer, don't you, Brian?
Steve, I do. See, a lion would never drive drunk, but a tiger would.
Oh, wow.
Wilson goes to a fucking ridiculous mini-sode of Halloween's Forever. I'm Brian.
Is it 2007? Because I'm Steve.
It's 2002.
He did that in 2002?
We got a No, listen. Stop stepping on my intro. We have once again our wonderful friend Kellie from the Final Girls podcast. Welcome, Kellie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me back and for letting me choose the punishment movie, which I only had the chance to choose because I voted Dagon as the best of our four. So I have to thank you for that, for introducing me to Dagon, because now I am singing Dagon's praises. So
yes, and I appreciate that, and we've got a lot to unpack here. First of all, Stephen, that was a joke about Tiger Woods and his very publicized substance abuse issues, which happened in the roughly early 2000s, Steve. 2007, 2005. What's the fucking difference? Get off my back. Second of all, I was noticeably absent from last week's episode, and I got a little splaining to do. But also, I do want to, honestly surprised, but I do want to thank Steve for what I thought was a moderately fair representation of my movie, Dagon. I really thought you were going to shit all over it. And I had absolutely no trust in you that you would represent it in any positive light. But I was also surprised and pleased, Kellie, that you appreciated the schlock that was Dagon. And it was just it was a little bit of positive reinforcement that I appreciated. And Steve might have mentioned I'm a bit of a Stuart Gordon stan, so I'm going to pick one of his movies any chance I get. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I super enjoyed it. I had never heard of it. I have heard of Stuart Gordon. I have not seen Castle Freak yet, although that has been on my list for like a very long time.
If you like Dagon, you're gonna like Castle Freak.
Okay.
It has. You remember that scene in Dagon where they peel that guy's face off?
Yes. No, I forgot.
Okay. All right. Yes. How'd you feel about that scene? Positive, negative?
It was grotesque.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't bother me because I watch a lot of bullshit like that. So
all right, you're gonna be fine.
Is like all about it.
Yes. There's a couple scenes in Castle Freak that I would perhaps note amongst the most gross. I don't even know. It's I wouldn't even call it body horror, but is kind of body horror. There's a couple of scenes that are reminiscent of the face peeling scene, but are I would argue exponentially more gross. So so you're gonna like that one a lot.
Sounds delightful.
There is a remake, which did we talk about the remake, Steve, on the podcast?
We mentioned that there is a remake, and it was tangentially attached to another movie we're talking about, but we never watched it. We've never done either Castle Freaks.
Oh, we've never done the original Castle Freak. Wow. Yeah, the remake, that's a hard skip. The original goddamn classic. All right. Before we get too far down all that pass and we talk about Kellie's punishment choice for us, which of course is a little flicky called Sabretooth from the year of our Lord 2002. We got a couple of things we got to do at the top of the show like we typically do. First of all, is there a beverage that Yins might be enjoying this evening? Steven, why don't you kick us off? You got a beer over there?
I don't have a beer. I got a cider. And
you got a sidey boy. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I was going to have a little sidey last week because I thought we're doing ocean. And so I had a blue raspberry cider. And I thought, I'm gonna bring this out and I'm gonna piss Brian off because it's gonna be blue as the ocean. We're gonna be talking about the ocean. But guess what? I got bamboozled. It's this color. It's not the ocean color. It's not blue raspberry.
Why is a blue raspberry the one thing above all else that a blue raspberry flavored beverage should be is that it needs to be blue.
Yeah. Blue. Yeah. It's everything. All 90s kids know blue raspberry as blue. That's what the blue flavor is.
Yeah. And it's a flavor of blue.
Yeah. And Blake's Hard Cider has decided they wanted to butt fuck me on this show in front of everybody.
They really did. Good Lord.
And make it just regular rosé berry colored. And and also it sucks. And it's not good.
Yeah.
So like I'm the fool on this one. I thought, I'll get Brian with this. But no. I get no one. I get myself. I've been gotten by me. Yeah.
Real backfire situation. Hey, you know what? Good on you, Blakes, for taking it to Steve when he most deserves it. Which is every week, as far as I'm concerned. Kellie, I saw you sipping on something over there. What do you got?
Yeah, like last time, I'm being super boring and I'm just drinking my coffee. I drink a lot of coffee because I'm a little bit of an insomniac, and so I never really sleep very well. And so I'm constantly drinking coffee. But I almost went out and got beer specifically for this episode. Last time I talked about Stone Brewing, who everyone's familiar with. But I did want to mention there is a really local brewery, local to me, called Crooked Lane. I don't know if you guys get any of their stuff out there, but they are also very good. So I would recommend them, even though I'm not currently drinking that.
Well, the only time I stop drinking coffee is to switch over to beer. So you and me both, sister. I especially today, I had one of those nice, marathon 12-hour work days, and I think I drank about a pot and a half of coffee myself. So I am fucking geeked and my eyes are vibrating, so I need to get some booze up in my system here. And I am drinking an absolutely lovely beer, and I'm drinking it. Even Steven, you'll notice I'm even drinking it in the appropriate glassware. I'm drinking this yummy little Kolsch called Not Always Present by Dancing Gnome here in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Dancing Gnome just consistently cranking out some fucking wonderful beers, and this Kolsch is no exception. I feel like the last few beers I've had on the show have kind of not been great, but this one is great. It's fucking killer. It's not a weird caricature of a Kolsch that's like too hoppy or under attenuated or anything. It's like super crisp, super bright, effervescent, clean, easy drinking. So I said, you know what? I'm getting the old 0.2 Stange out and serving, doing some little impromptu Kolsch service here on my fucked up, cluttered desk here. So that's what your boy's drinking on.
Isn't that the Sharpsburg Millville battle of like Kolsch service between Hop Farm and Dancing Gnome? They both do it.
It's funny because I am drinking out of a Hop Farm Stange.
Yeah.
But as far as the quality of the beer is concerned, Dancing Gnome far exceeds Hop Farm. I've especially when our good friend Malcolm was running the show over there brewing at Hop Farm. They were making some real nice beers. Venture to say, not so much the case anymore. So Dancing Gnome.
Oh no.
Yeah, they did. They've fallen off a little bit since then, but hey, that's the reality of the situation. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But Dancing Gnome, once upon a time, they were really only known for the the hazy
IPA.
Boys.
Yeah.
But over the years, they have just really become fantastic at making a broad range of styles, especially lager beers, and in this case, lager-like ale styles. So love them. Love what they're doing over there. All right. Beer talk. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I've never been to Pittsburgh. What am I missing?
Pierogies. Fries
White
with
people
slaw.
walking around staring at themselves in the mirror. Yeah, pierogies, putting I'll give you a quick story that's going to seem off topic, but is going to perfectly encapsulate the spirit of Pittsburgh for you. When I was in grad school, I worked at a bar, a little pub, bar, and restaurant, right? Popular little neighborhood spot. We have a little thing here in Pittsburgh that we call Pittsburgh salad. It is a bowl or a tray, or in this case, a styrofoam shell container that contains, first down, you put a nice layer of iceberg lettuce, just iceberg. Don't put anything else in there. Then 2 little slices of tomato, not ripe, out of season tomatoes. Then you cover it up with usually steak, just a hunk of like not particularly good quality, like what you would expect to put on a fajita or something like that. Grill that up. Put some nice Montreal steak seasoning or something like that. Grill it up. Put it right on top of the lettuce. Get that lettuce extra hot, right? Then
hot lettuce. Hot
get
and
an
greasy
entire
lettuce.
giant handful of French fries. Put that on top. Like more French fries than lettuce. And then about 4 to 6 cups of ranch dressing. That's a Pittsburgh salad, okay?
Hell yeah.
And when I used to work at this bar, people used to call and order Pittsburgh salad for takeout. We just call it steak salads, obviously, and they would say, you know what? Hold the lettuce. And it would just literally be steak with French fries, ranch dressing, and there's 2 little chunks of mater on the side.
Wow.
The one thing you missed from this, Brian, is the whole pepperoncini.
That's fancy. If you can get that nice pickled pepperoncini, that's a treat.
I'd be on board with that.
Yeah, that's a treat.
It's the whole pepperoncini that also is still wet and sopping and stains the inside of the box. So
yeah. The nice thing about that, I like to think of myself personally as that pepperoncini. That's my place on the earth. Just wet,
swimming
sopping,
through the ranch.
just stains the wherever I'm sitting is just leaves a mark. No, but that's Pittsburgh in a nutshell. It's just fat white people staring at each other. Sure. I love it, but that's pretty much what it is.
Okay, thanks.
So you have that to look forward to if you ever decide to take a trip.
Good. Great.
All right. A couple other things we got to do at the top of the show. First of all, I want to take a quick moment to celebrate our friend Dan, who's here with us in the Discord for his first viewing of Fish Piss, guys. Give a quick round of applause. If you're in your car driving, take your hands off the wheel and just let Jesus take the wheel and do a little quick clap for Dan because he survived his first viewing of Fish Piss. And I feel, again, no sympathy. We were talking about this pre-show because I told him what it is. And he also hates, he said, please donate Advil. Or just bleach. Honestly, after I watched, I was like, I'm just going to drink bleach.
Hell yeah.
But also continue to grow your hatred for Steve because he did subject that to us. And that is way worse than any amount of Halloween Puppy, Magic Puppy, the Great Halloween Puppy Adventure, all of that stuff. Fish Piss. I would watch that daily before I watched Fish Piss one more time. Anyway. All right, a couple other quick things we got to do at the top of the show. Steven, do we got to do anything in terms of our pickies, right? We got to talk about our pickies. Yeah,
we got to announce what won the poll because we announced what the voting block for May was going to be, and we ran the poll, and now we have the results of the poll. And I'm not winning. I'm just not winning this week at all. Mm-hmm. It's no good. Blake's is bad. Instagram has betrayed me because I ran the poll on Threads and I ran it on Patreon, and then I added a new element because Blue Sky doesn't have a poll system and Facebook doesn't have one. So I opened up a new Discord public channel, and so people will be able to vote on there now. And on all of those polls, Pests and Vermin won. Almost. Mauled Madness won on Patreon proper, but everywhere else, Pests and Vermin winning, and then get on the damn Instagram, and it was winning for half a day, and then I guess overnight, the British or the Australians or the Chinese, somebody while I was sleeping, they all voted for Elm Street, and now we got to do the damn shitty Elm Street movies.
God damn it. what the hell's wrong with you? And I know I've been told on multiple occasions, don't berate the listeners. They don't like to be spoken to in that manner. Get your shit together, you goddamn assholes. We could have done Mall Madness. You know how fun that would have been? We could have done Pest and Vermin. We could have talked about rats and killer mice and all types of stuff like that. And now we got to talk about the goddamn dregs of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Because if you recall, you goddamn rat bastards, we already did this before. And we picked all the good ones.
We did.
So there's only dog shit left. So all right, I'm gonna shut up, and we're gonna do it. Obviously, the voters have spoken, and the May Showdown topic is going to be Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, aka the fucking dregs of the franchise. So that should be fun. I'll make sure I get some bleach in the old beer fridge so I can chill it down and get ready.
The nice thing is, after we do this, we'll never have to do it again. Because I'm just taking Elm Street off the wheel because there won't be enough movies left.
No, there won't be enough movies left. So hopefully we can still avoid, doing the remake here. Because oh man, all the fucking good ones are taken. One more thing before we get into Sabretooth, which I know we're all itching to get into that sumbitch. Guys, we got some fun stuff happening over on the Patreon page. Steven, why don't you tell them what's going on?
Yeah, you jump on that patreon.com/Halloween is forever and pay that $5 a month. You get all the perks. You get all the boobobs and the baubles. You get everything. So I mentioned there's a new public Discord channel, but there's a private one too. And that's only for patrons. And then there's the really private one.
That's where all the nasty shit goes down.
That's where the nasty stuff goes down. And then the super private one is where you get to watch episodes happen live. We got Ron and Dan right here going back and forth talking about so excited for us to do the Freddy remake. No, they ain't happening, guys.
They're trying to talk Kelly into watching Fist Piss. Don't listen to them. Kelly, do not listen to the Discord.
Dude, I told you I love bad movies. I don't know. That sounds like maybe the worst movie imaginable. So I'm down.
It's honestly, I hardly a movie.
I mean, if you're gonna watch fish piss, yeah. If you're gonna watch fish piss, you may as well just watch Shrek Crack. Like,
don't listen to the
movie.
I'm gonna make a
movie
list.
By the same people. It's movie by the same people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down.
Get on the Patreon. So you get in our little recording studio and you can hurl barbs at us and tease our guests and try to trick them into watching bad movies. You do all that. You get reviews and recos of a whole bunch of stuff going on, and we've got a monthly exclusive podcast. We recorded our first episode of our brand new series last month. It's called 90s is Forever. And it's our comedy focused podcast where we did Silence of the Hams. And this month we'll be doing a gnome named Norm. And have you watched it yet, Brian? Have you seen it?
I started it. It's troublesome.
It's troublesome, isn't it?
It's so different than Silence of the Hams.
Yeah.
We couldn't be going in two different directions.
Yeah.
Two more different directions.
Yeah, like I said, I started with Silence of the Hams because it's the most horror tied film, but we already went over the horror ties of A Gnome Named Norm, which includes it's directed by Stan Winston, and it stars Anthony Michael Hall, who would later go on to be in the Halloween films. So there's a lot of things going on. There's some other ties in there as well that we'll talk about on the actual episode, but that'll be coming up in April. And you know what? For Patreon, I think, we're in April and Shudder is celebrating their halfway to Halloween.
Yes.
And Patreon now allows us to give away, like a month of Patreon. So I think maybe for April, we'll do maybe a little giveaway raffle on the Instagrams. And,
I like it.
Hey, you get a month, and some lucky listener out there will get a free month, and they'll be able to listen to 2 episodes of 90s is Forever, all the episodes of Youth Group is Forever, and all the episodes of Family is Forever. You get all of that.
So
all of it.
If you listen to us talk for several hours every week, and you think, God damn, do I want more of those 2 chuckle fucks talking on the internet. We have about 300 hours backed up just on the Patreon of us talking about weird fucking Christian right-wing propaganda horror movies and all the worst movies in the world, which are the Fast and Furious movies. So you don't have to watch the movies. In fact, I would strongly urge you do not. But it's fun to listen to us bemoan them and make fun of them and that sort of stuff. So a lot of fun. Give us your money on the Patreon. And you'll get some cool stuff in return. So, all right, enough of that. Enough of the plugs. Social medias, they exist. Go over there, follow us on them. Who gives a shit? Let's get into this flick.
Before, you can skip our social medias because it's easy to find. Halloween is forever. But
yes,
maybe
let's
like Kellie.
I'm so horned up for Sabretooth right now. I just can't wait to get into it. Yes. Thank you for reminding me, Stephen, because I am well known as the worst fucking host on the internet. So, Kellie, for those folks who did not listen yet to our Showdown episode last week, why don't you tell them real quick about Final Girls podcast? Because if you like this show, you're sure as hell going to like their show. And then where they can find it.
Sure. This will be funny because Sarah always does this blurb instead of me. So I had to like pull up our socials so that I could actually know what our handles are. But okay, so Final Girls podcast, we discuss the women who adhere to the final girl trope in horror movies. So like The Last Woman Standing kind of thing. We just did Ripley, if that gives you a good sense of what we're talking about. So we drop every Wednesday. We talk about a different final girl. Last night, actually, we dropped our Cabin in the Woods episode, which is really fun.
Ooh,
and yeah, I know.
Man.
I love that movie. And if you want to listen to our podcast, we are available basically everywhere. There are some other pods called Final Girls, so you may have to, we're still trying to like rise in the algorithm, but you can go to our website at final-girls.com. You can find us on Blue Sky at Final Girls Podcast or on Instagram at Final Girls The Podcast. And we're still fairly new. We just launched in January. It's my first podcast, so I'm having a lot of fun. And these guys were generous enough to have us on. And I am representing both of us today. Sarah did not want to indulge in Sabretooth as a homework movie, but I dearly love it. And so I was willing to come on and talk about it. So thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming back over. And again, this movie right up our alley. So go search out Final Girls podcast, and maybe an easy way to do it is search Final Girls and like Cabin in the Woods, since you know that's your most recent episode, and then you know you're getting the right podcast. Also, for those of you who are in the Discord here, we'll link it when we post some stuff on the social medias. But Kellie's got the link there in the Discord. So thank you once again, and thank you for bestowing on us a movie which we were talking about before we started recording. I can't believe this has not been on my radar, because this is a Sci-Fi Channel early 2000s gem, and I'm actually blown away that I didn't come across it earlier. But tell us how you came across this perennial masterpiece.
Yeah, I spoiled this, I guess, before we started recording, but I found this movie because I'm a big Lost fan, and when I was in college, I had a huge crush on Sawyer from Lost. It's not that surprising. Like, I think everyone who watched Lost had a crush on Sawyer, but so I went through Josh Holloway's old IMDb listings and started watching a few of his other movies. And this movie actually came out 2 years before Lost started. So like right before he got his big break. Thank God, because otherwise he probably would have kept doing stuff like this. But I actually unironically really love this movie. It's so terrible and cheesy and ridiculous. And the special effects are just chef's kiss. I just love this movie. So
Trent, he plays the character of Trent in this movie. Trent is a goddamn beefcake. So there's no way not to. He's a beefcake. But I love to think about him acting in this movie. And then 2 years later being on the biggest show on television, maybe the biggest show of the decade.
It's crazy.
Good for him. Good for him. But we got a whole star-studded cast here. A weird cast, and frankly, a cast that I actually recognize more people than I thought I was going to. But let's go down through it just real quick. We have Josh Holloway, which venture to say easily the most recognizable person in the movie. He plays Trent. Okay, and Trent is part of a small group of they're going to be guides, right? Hiking, camping, outdoor guides, kind of in training. Now, Trent is a little bit more established in his role, but we've got some young folks who are. They briefly mention it, but essentially they are like kind of training to be outdoor guides for underprivileged kids, I think is the way they describe it. Of course, we never get to meet those.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a quick like 3 lines to explain why they're there. And then we're just like, fine. Yeah, that's good. Frankly, I didn't need any more. I'm on board. Right. No. We also have Jenna Goering, who plays Casey. And Casey is, I would say, probably the main protagonist of the movie. And what do we know Jenna from? Anything pop up, Steve, for you?
Not much, really. Like, she's in a lot of stuff, and she does like a lot of small bit parts. Like, she still acts today, but it just, she just kind of shows up in like mostly TV. Like, she was on an episode of Castle, and an episode of The King of Queens, and an episode of Las Vegas. So yeah, she just shows up on TV. She's never like really hit it big. But I mean, honestly, she might be, aside from John Rhys Davies, she might kind of be the best actor in this right now.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Because, when I was looking up the cast, because a lot of these are nobodies, I'm sure that Brian will get to it. But I did notice that the guy who plays Jason, Philip Glasser, is like the voice of Fievel in the American Tail movies. That is so fucking bizarre. That is so fucking weird. Yeah. That's really the only notable like thing here. I was just like, what?
Yeah, that's the most notable, like, are you kidding me? Because when he first appears on screen, you go, oh, hey, it's an Eddie Deason for a new era. And then you look at his credits, and this is the last movie he did before moving on to, like, he's a producer now, and his
so weird.
Produced some stuff. But then you go deep in his credits, and it's like, oh, that's Fievel? Are you fucking joking?
Fucking weird. Yeah. I didn't know that until I was looking up stuff for this podcast. So I'm glad that I know that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a decent amount of acting credits. And I'll be honest with you, I immediately recognized him. Like, I was like, I know that guy.
Really?
And yeah, I was like, I know him from something. And I think it's just he showed up in a lot of just like one episode, quick little. He was in one episode of Boy Meets World. He was in one episode of Saved by the Bell. You know, he was actually in a ton of things that I had watched as a kid, but voices mostly. So I would have, of course, never recognized his face. But he showed up in one episode of the Brady's, which was like a Brady Bunch reboot that they had. He was in one episode of Full House as young Danny Tanner. He just showed up in a lot of things just as a quick little walk-on, and he played the same character that he plays in this movie in every single show. He had just the goofball, kind of cut up, dorky guy. Yeah, that's what he played everywhere. So I was like, God, what do I know him from? And I was like, I don't know him from anything specific. I know him from a million little things.
He just haunts your past as like kind of like just kind of like a ghost of just nerds past.
Yeah. He is my father. But yeah, so we have Trent Holloway, and then we have Lamar Tate, who I don't think I know him from anything, but he looks like a guy, like guys you might know from other things. He was in Barbershop. I will I'll be honest with you, I do not remember him from Barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
But he popped up in a lot of things as well.
He's in parts. He's in a bunch of stuff I've seen, but I just do not remember him specifically. Like, I don't know
why. Yeah, I don't know why I feel this way, but when I was watching him, I was thinking he seems like he would be on Power Rangers. I don't know why.
Okay.
Like, I don't think he actually
looks
was
a little bit like Zach from the Power Rangers. He just looks a little bit like him. He has similar haircut. He does try to, the Black Ranger did have like psi like weapons that would detach almost like a Darth Maul type situation. And of course, in this movie, famously, he does try to fight a Sabretooth tiger with knives. So I can see why you make that connection. That's easy to understand.
I think the role I would remember him the most from is Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, which was, one of the Wayans brothers type parody films back in the back in the 90s. And he plays Ashtray's father, which is Sean Wayans' characters. So he plays a character where he is somehow younger than his own son. is what the joke is. Like,
that's the joke. Yeah.
The joke is he's younger than his own son. But yeah, that's what I would remember him from. But yeah, otherwise, he just shows up. He also has a very unfortunate fact in his personal bio, because he acts with his brother Lorenz Tate, who's also just been in a lot of stuff. Like, you have probably seen him a lot, but you may not remember him specifically. But his unfortunate fact is that he's known as part of the Tate brothers. And boy, does that not fucking hold up so well today. You might want to change that off your bio.
Big yikes. Don't put Tate brothers on your bio. Yeah, that's not good. We also have Lola, which is played by Nicole Tubiola. Don't know her from anything, but was intrigued to learn that she played a cheerleader on 3 different episodes of The Amanda Show, which was, of course, Amanda Bynes' sketch comedy show back in the 90s. So that was kind of fun to see. And then we have David Keith, who plays Thatcher, and I just refer to him as Butt Chin because he has got one of the most severe butt chins I have ever seen in my life. This guy has been in everything. He has like 150 credits.
He's so recognizable, but like as I was going through his credits, nothing really jumped out at me other than like him playing the dad in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. But like, yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that like, him from something.
Oh, he played BJ in Clown Hunt. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm just saying dumb shit.
Just saying shit.
You said that like it meant something, but okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. He's in 100 things. So I mean, he's a lot of like network, sitcoms popping in for an episode here and there. He's been in just a ton of stuff going, way back into the mid 80s.
Yeah, here's where
actually late 70s. Holy moly.
Yeah, he's been at it for a while. Here's where you probably remember him from, Brian. He in Major League 2, he's the bad guy batter who always hits off Ricky.
That is 100% who he is, and that is 100% where I know him from. Yep. That's excellent. And then we have, frankly, just one of the most celebrated careers of all time. We have Vanessa Angel, and she plays, first of all, Claudia in Kingpin, which Kingpin genuinely one of the funniest movies of all time.
Yep.
But she also plays Gene Robbins in the 2004 classic Super Babies: Baby Geniuses 2, which if you have not seen, you are you just haven't lived yet. I'm jealous that you have that laid out in front of you for your journey. The Baby Geniuses franchise as a whole, I celebrate the entire franchise. She is one of those performers who is simultaneously in some of the best and worst movies of all time. Like the span of quality, the range of quality of her movies goes from Kingpin, literally one of the best comedies of all time, as far as I'm concerned, to some of the movies that would be considered amongst the worst ever released. So she just has an absolutely wild spanning career.
Including starting with this one.
Hold on, this one is her best movie though. Like
compared to Baby Geniuses, oh man, this is Shawshank Redemption.
Now, Kellie pointed out how, she came to this movie because she had a crush on Josh Holloway. And I will say, growing up, I had a crush on Vanessa Angel because of Kingpin, but two, she was also Lisa on the Weird Science TV show that was on USA.
And she played like 80 episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. There was that Weird Science TV show. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember it as good. And it's probably been a good 10, 15 years since I've watched anything with her in it. And man, watching this movie just made me think, like, was I dumb? Was I a dumb kid? Because she might be the worst actress that's ever existed.
She has always been. She's always been really bad.
Acting, but yeah. I know. I was watching this movie and my fiance Nirvan walked in the room and he was like, all these women look like porn stars. I was like, they do. Their acting is kind of on that level too. So.
Well, she especially, like, if you think about her most famous characters, she plays these kind of like stunted type of characters. I mean, not in Sabretooth, and that's why her horrible acting is so just raw and uncut. But in the Weird Science series, she is meant to be. It's almost forgive me because I genuinely love this performer, but early in his career, a Keanu Reeves type, perhaps.
Oh, whoa.
Very good looking, perhaps not the most broad range of performances.
Yeah. Keanu was an OG himbo. That's what he was.
It's funny. It's actually really funny that you mentioned Keanu because before my crush on Josh Holloway, all throughout high school, I had the biggest, most ridiculous crush on Keanu. And actually my favorite movie of all time, I think I mentioned this on the podcast last time, is The Matrix. And let's not malign Keanu here. I spent like 4 years of high school defending him against everyone. And it's funny because like now he's kind of had like this comeback of like everyone loves Keanu, but back then people were like, what, he's the worst, and so that's just really funny to
you were going to bat for him. I have always been a Keanu fan, and transparently it's because I also have a crush on him, but he's alarmingly good looking, somehow gets more good looking the older he gets. I love Keanu. I love pretty much all his performances, but they are a bit stunted at times, especially when he's a little younger. And I think that I would put this performer in that same vein. One last one, and then we'll get off the cast here. But it is such an intriguing cast. We have John Rhys Davies, which is insane. That he is in this movie, and that he's so bad in this movie because he plays Gimli in the Lord of the Rings franchise. He also plays, he plays fantasy characters and very cartoonish characters in pretty much everything you would know him. And he plays Salah, which is like one of the guys who gets, I think, melted or something like that in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Salah is one of the good guys. He helps Indy.
He's a good guy. Yeah. He's a good guy.
And they make a joke about Raiders of the Lost Ark in this movie.
Yeah.
As like a little throwaway to him. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's not in that scene though. So they make a joke about it, but he's not in the scene. He's not.
Yeah, you're right.
It's been way too long. It's probably been 15 years since I've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, but he has quite a resume, and not just in terms of some good quality movies. He has been in like 300 things, like he going back decades and decades.
Yeah.
So really, really well. And honestly, I didn't immediately recognize him. Because I would think of him as I didn't. Yeah. Shame on me. I didn't immediately recognize him. I was like, I know his voice, but what do I know him from?
Yeah.
Because Gimli, of course, he's in so much makeup. You wouldn't necessarily I mean, yes, you now after I see it, I'm like, okay. But he's been in a ton of genre things too.
Mm-hmm. He was in Sliders. I mean, yeah, come on, he's in Sliders.
Stop saying Sliders like that.
Everybody knows Sliders.
Also,
come on, he's in Sliders.
What's wrong with Jerry O'Connell?
Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell. I think the other O'Connell brother is in that, and then he's in. You know, it's him.
That's like saying he's in Grizzly 2, guys. Get with the program. Like, who fucking cares? Most people would know him as. He's also in a shitload of religious movies too, which really? I'm surprised we didn't pick up on that and end up seeing him in one of our movies for Youth Group is Forever. But he's in a lot of religious movies. Anyway, I'm trying to think. Not a ton of. Maybe early in his career, some certainly some genre stuff in his early career as well. But anyway, quite a cast. So like we said, we've got our well, actually, before we get introduced to any of the the crew, the central crew, we get the kind of literal breakout scene, right, where our titular Sabretooth, guys, the monster in this movie, get this, Sabretooth tiger. Breaks out. We're in a science lab, straight up science lab, and actually we know that because it has a little sign on the door that says genetics lab. And this movie, this institution breaks the very first rule of genetics labs, which is don't let a guy with a backwards hat into the genetics lab.
What is the movie we watched where it starts with a guy? Is it? No, it's not Uninvited, but it's a movie that starts with a guy.
You stole my thunder because this is Uninvited, by the way.
It's just Uninvited?
In the woods. It's in the woods, except for instead of in the woods, it's Uninvited is, of course, on a boat.
Yeah.
So it's like they took Uninvited and said, what if it wasn't on a boat and it was in the woods?
No, I'm still thinking of a different movie though, because Uninvited starts with the scientist chasing the cat and shooting at it. But I'm thining of another movie.
And then the smaller cat comes out of the bigger cat's mouth, and the rest is history. Have you ever seen Uninvited, Kelly?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't remember it until you said that, and then that's pretty hard to forget. But
yeah, smaller cat comes out of bigger cat's mouth. Terrifying.
Yeah.
This is a trope for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking another one where it's like a fish tank aquarium and something falls in, and then the janitor falls into the aquarium and gets melted. Whatever it is. Yeah,
I know exactly what movie you're talking about. Don't know what. Like I know I can picture the scene. Don't know what movie it is.
Yeah. But it's the same stuff because they have all like the colored water bubblers go in. Like that's how you know it's science lab time, because there's a beaker of blue flowing into a beaker of red, and it's making a beaker of green somehow. That goes against God, so you know it's got to be something really special.
This movie, like I kept misspelling the title Sabretooth as like ER instead of RE in Saber. But the funny thing is that at the beginning of this movie, it says that it's done by Sabretooth Productions, which is nuts already, but they spell it differently in the production company title. They spell it as ER and not RE. So they can't even get their own shit right. But yeah.
I wonder that it can't be a legal thing. I don't know why they would do that.
No.
It's just a dumb thing.
It's dumb. It's stupid.
Yeah. It's the monster is a Sabretooth tiger. It of course escapes, and we do learn that our gentleman with the backwards hat, which was he's trouble, right? We know he's gonna create it. He's had a mistake. He's wrong place, wrong time. His name's Nathan, by the way. We know that because there's a big.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a big name tag on his shirt that says Nathan. Nathan was put on this earth to be eaten by.
Yes.
That's why he was born. Otherwise, why would his blood be so sticky and so photogenic?
Like corn syrup, yeah.
Yeah.
So why else would he be so delicious and so stupid at the same time?
Yeah.
This company, I just want to say, this company has multiple points of failure because they're cheapskates. Like, it's all because of cheapskate stuff. Like, one, Nathan shouldn't be in this lab alone. There should always just be another person. Two, Nathan kind of brings it on himself because he doesn't wait to watch for the cage to come down on its own.
He goes in while the gate is like, why does it get stuck? And then he just goes in anyway.
Yeah, but still, you just wait to see if there's a failure. If there's a failure, hey, don't go in, bud. But then he goes in anyway, then drops a can in front of the cage and goes, I could probably get that. I'm fast. I'm Nathan. I'm fast.
This is the thing is, he gets so... He just got reamed out by his boss for losing another can of cleaning solution. So he's like, if I lose another can, if I come back empty-handed without my can, I'm gonna get fired. So I need to make sure that I go retrieve this can, no matter what the peril is. He doesn't last long. And we now know there's a dang monster on the loose. So we've established monster on the loose. Insatiable hunger, loves eating humans. Yum yum. That's the opening. Now we jump to two fucking dorks basically doing that scene, like they're stepbrothers. They're just playing karate in the yard. It's Trent and Leon. And they're just literally doing karate kicks and breaking boards, like literally like 8-year-olds. It makes no fucking difference. And the whole time the whole movie I'm going, when's Trent going to do karate? Guys, hold on.
Hold up.
He's going to do it exactly at the right moment. Save that. Put a pin in it.
You're so right.
Now, I got a question because I'm not a martial arts expert. So would you say...
Wait, hold on, Steve. Don't shortchange yourself.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not. I know a little bit, but I don't know a lot. But I just wondered, do you think Trent was practicing a lost art form?
That's such a far distance to go for that joke.
Oh,
how fucking dare you?
I like a big
amazing.
I like a big
I love
it. So Casey comes out. She's kind of the head guide, right? She's kind of in charge of all these guides. Hilariously, she decides to stand on this giant log, to get the attention of 4 people that are 2 feet away from her. She stands on a log like she's speaking to a group of 100 people, trying to get their attention. But instead, there's just 4 dorks sitting right there, tying their shoes 2 feet in front of her. She still decides to stand up on this log. It's hilariously awkward. And we get the story of how, they're going to be trained to like take freaking underprivileged children camping, whatever. Nobody cares. We also learn at this point that Leon's last name is Tingle, which I was so pleased with. Leon Tingle.
Tingle.
So then we get introduced to the last character. His name's Jason. He is a computer kid, indoor boy, 2 different colored hair. Mm-hmm. He's Fievel. He's hard to describe because he's a nerd, but he's also like very sexist, very he's a full-on sex criminal, I think.
Yeah, he's a proto-incel. He might have, had he not died in this movie, he might have created 4chan.
Yeah, he is that.
Exactly.
He's that guy. And I don't want to sound over dramatic here, but Jason is the worst character in cinema history. Like, he is not only completely irredeemable, but the most annoying character I can think of off the top of my head. Just the most severely hateable individual in the history of motion picture.
The only thing he wasn't doing was a voice. Like, had he done like a real annoying Eddie Deason voice, like that's what I was expecting out of him when he first got out. I expected him to come up, hey guys, are you going camping? And that's what I expected here.
I would have much preferred that, because instead we get him like trying to still be a little bit cool which is the worst thing that he could be. Just if he was super nerd, that would have been so much more palatable. But instead, he's still trying to be a little bit slick, and it's the most hateable thing I've ever seen.
He's very punchable. He's very his whole look, his whole demeanor, his hair. He's there to be like a punchable douchebag. But there's a lot of misogyny in this movie. So.
Sure, there is. It came on like hot and heavy at first, and there is plenty. Don't get me wrong, but I expected more from the early going.
Fair.
But I will say I've never wanted to inflict a wedgie on a human being more than I did on Jason. We get this.
I was trying to figure out like what music was Jason listening to at the time, because like, okay, you can look at Leon and easily guess like he's a big fan of No Limit Soldiers, which is why he's like dressed in camo all the time. Like he loves No Limit Soldiers and Master P, and that's what he's down for. But like, I was trying to think like Jason isn't into nu metal, but like, is it? It's some sort of punk. It's definitely, he's like definitely Blink-182, but like that's not his favorite. It's something more annoying than Blink.
He's like, I would say he's maybe NoFX. Like he might be like, or he tells people he listens to NoFX, but he actually doesn't.
Or like that, yeah.
I feel like he's one of those people that's so fucking insufferable that he only listens to one song. You know what I mean? Over and over and over. Like he just listens to what's that song? Snow. What's his name? The rapper, the white rapper? Is it called Enforcer or whatever? What's that song called? Informer by Snow, just over and over and over. Or he's just listening to like I don't know, red wine or something, just over and over and over again on his headphones. But he's telling people it's NoFX because he thinks that's cool. Actually, here I know I'm belaboring this a little too much, but if there was ever a Crazy Town fan, he's a Crazy Town fan.
Oh, yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah. Imagine him writing the lyrics to "Come My Lady, Come My Lady" in his AOL away message. Like when he leaves his AOL away message up, that's the lyrics.
Yeah,
she's my butterfly, sugar baby. Yeah.
He absolutely is because he doesn't smoke weed, so he couldn't be like a Cottonmouth Kings fan. So like,
no,
he's just generally into being a sleazebag and like wishes like he has like the same puka shell necklaces, but he doesn't pop his shirt off. But he just wishes to ascend to Swifty Switchblade levels.
Yeah, he's not angry enough for like Korn. But he is creepy enough for Crazy Town.
Yeah.
I'm glad we solved that. I appreciate we took the couple extra minutes to solve that riddle.
It was going to bother me otherwise.
You're going to be laying in bed and I just staring at the ceiling like, what the fuck does Jason listen to?
What's he into?
All right. Let's just get into his head. All right, so we get a truck crash, very a la Jurassic Park. They're transporting the monster, they crash, and the monster escapes. That's pretty much that scene. Nothing too exciting. Although we do get a cool truck crash scene.
Yeah,
it's a good truck. We appreciate, Kelly. I don't know if it came up in the last episode. We're big fans of vehicle crashes and full body burns because production value goes through the roof as soon as we see one of those two things.
Yeah.
I mean, we did talk about people being on fire in Dagon.
Yeah. There you go. Full body burn. Love a full body burn.
We talked about that. And then we also talked about all of the like defenestration and stunts in Deep Rising when the cruise ship is going down and all the people falling in that. Yep. So yeah, we've definitely covered how we love a practical. We love a thing where somebody almost dies for real.
Yeah. We love real mortal danger in movie. So we get a little bit of information. It's a genetically modified saber-toothed tiger brought back from the fucking, Jurassic period or whatever. And the whole idea, which I love how we just breeze over this, but the whole idea is they're breeding this to grow super quickly, grow organs for human transplant. Yeah. And that's how they're going to make their billions. So I love how we have I was calling her just Claudia because she's Claudia from Kingpin. I never remember Claudia. And we have the character played by I've already forgot his name, but Gimli, Anthony something Davies, whatever his name is. We talked
John
about
Rhys Davies playing Anthony.
John Rhys Davies who plays Anthony. Yes, thank you. Steve's used to how fucking horrible I am with names. But I just called him Timu Stanley Kubrick. Like he just kind of had like a weird older like cartoony Stanley Kubrick vibe. But this is his get rich quick scheme is grow a saber-toothed tiger from ancient genetics because it can grow really fast and he can harvest their organs for human transplant. So here's my idea. If you're growing an animal specifically to harvest their organs, why make it so dangerous?
That's the thing. Why not
make it a cow?
Why not make it a dodo bird? Everybody would have loved to see the dodo bird come back, and like you could start like almost like an ostrich farm, and you could sell dodo birds for food to the rich. You know, be like, hey, be the first to taste a dodo bird in 120 years or whatever. And the whole thing is they already have proof of concept. So the thing about growing the saber-toothed tiger is we have invented these genetic techniques that can bring back DNA from the past and grow it twice as fast. So you have proof of concept of your methods. You no longer need the actual tiger for anything. So
and they're so protective of this tiger. Like they refuse throughout the entire movie, even when it's like tearing people up, they refuse to put it down. So
it's just now they have to cover their ass for legal reasons. That's what the movie should have been. It should have been about saving the tiger for whatever science reasons. It's we have to not get sued before we can deploy our fucking homegrown livers.
Right.
We're going to get in trouble and lose our ability to grow livers.
Yeah, no, instead they are hyper protective of this animal that they explained is only 6 months old and grows really fast.
Yeah.
So it's not, you know what I mean? It's just they're really betraying their own logic here. I was waiting for there to be some twist where like Claudia had another reason why she was so protective, but no, we don't get any of that. I will say the character who just gets done so dirty, the zoologist, the nerdy zoologist girl, who walks in. Yeah, she walks in like she's coming to a sleepover, first of all, and then and Stanley Kubrick is like, by the way, go fuck yourself. Never met you before, but I fucking hate you. It's just shitting on her immediately. And then they shit on her. And then she gets eaten so early. And you're just like, you gave her nothing to do, shit on her the entire time. She got no arc, no retribution, and then got her face ripped off. Like just immediately.
I'm gonna
fodder.
Sorry. I'm going to drop this in the chat, but when I was watching the movie and she gets like eaten by the tiger, she's like, it could be right behind me and I wouldn't even know it. And then like it like pounces from the side and gets her. And when it's pouncing on her, it's such a ridiculously like silly looking mannequin that I took a picture to have a comparison shot. So I'm going to put this in the chat because it was just so fucking funny.
Yeah. Like it Dan said, the tiger was weaned on Jolt Cola. Yeah. This tiger has, I don't think it was bred for its ability to grow human compatible organs. I think it was bred for its incredible comedic timing. Like it is wonderful.
Really good time.
Oh my God, Kelly. I thought you were talking about the tiger.
Oh, no.
Oh, look at her fucking. It's so fucking stupid.
Why? So bizarre. That's not even close. I think also that's a man on the right, I think.
It's just the way the hair sits really high on top of her head. It kind of looks like Baby Billy from the Righteous Gemstones.
It's Uncle Baby Billy. It's half Uncle Baby Billy, 25%. I don't know. David
Uncle
Bowie as well. It's a little bit of David Bowie.
It's Uncle Baby Billy doing a fucking North Face jacket ad in Sears.
Yeah, Uncle Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers. That's so strange. We should say about the tiger that we see the tiger in two forms.
I was gonna say we should talk about this.
bad CGI, full body.
Terrible.
When you see a full body,
CGI.
Like anytime you're seeing the full tiger's body, it's like PlayStation 2 cinematic cutscene.
Yeah.
And then
that's being generous.
When you see a puppet, it's just when it's just its head, they have a probably quite expensive animatronic puppet head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that wasn't cheap to make.
No, because it has like a whole bunch of articulation in the muzzle and in the eyes. Like it's not it's not just jaws that chomp up and down, but they hardly ever use it to properly articulate or anything. It's like, most of the time you see the face and it's still.
But did you see that like this production company and some of these filmmakers went on to make another movie called Attack of the Sabretooth, which is not a sequel to this movie, but they probably only did it because they had that animatronic that they
we
like
still
might
have
as well
some
use
payments.
it for another one. Like, yeah.
We have not paid off this tiger head, so we got to get our cash out of it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's like, because the other movie I think that came out around this time and maybe even preceded this one was Boa. That was kind of the other like big sci-fi original channel movie. And then that's where we started getting like Boa versus Python and all that kind of shit. So you get Boa and then they create all the assets for Boa. And now you have Big Snake shitty CGI, but you can recycle that into Boa versus Python and all the other ones. And I believe they still, because I've seen those movies. They did have a couple big animatronic heads in that as well. So like they started reusing those, and then we started getting the sharks, and for whatever reason, sharks hit. And so just all the stock footage and all the shitty CGI sharks have just been circulating through film for the past 20 years. But there's still just like saber-toothed tigers and snakes out there, you guys. Why not use them?
Well, I mean, I think we've talked about this before. It's easier to make something look wet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's easier to make something it's easy to make something, appear not horrifically bad in the dark. And it's easy to make things look not horrifically bad when they're wet, texture wise, this generation CGI. But eventually they stopped caring. I feel like that's probably why it started. But then they were like, fuck it. Who cares? We don't care if it looks like shit anyway.
Fur is a real motherfucker to render. And so when you see this tiger in CGI, it looks fuzzy, but not fuzzy in the sense of like pettable soft. It looks fuzzy as in just like your eyes are going bad. Like you have to go to fuzzy. You have to go to the doctor because your eyes went bad in one spot, and that's a bad thing.
You got a floater. So it's funny though because Kubrick has an amazing amount of really great lines, and he also has just an unbelievable intuition, and it feels like almost fourth wall breaking that like he knows things the other characters don't. Like they're like, where's the cat? And it's the first introduction. We got Claudia and Stanley Kubrick, and they're in the room talking about how they're going to harvest the organs and yada yada yada. And they're like, all right, where's the driver at with the subject or whatever? And oh my god, yes, it is horribly blurry. And they almost always make it moving really quickly. So they're trying to get it, and make it not look as blurry, but in a still image, it's atrocious. They do go, he's like, hey, where's the driver? He's late. And Stanley Kubrick immediately goes, it's escaped. It's like, you shouldn't know that. That shouldn't be where you go to immediately, but somehow, and they're like, no, dude, it didn't escape. Well, of course we know it did escape. It's just like, he has this weird sixth sense. Meanwhile, we get over to the campsite, for some old-fashioned homophobia around the fire, just like you're expecting to get.
I know, for fuck's sake.
We get it really early on from Jason, and I was actually blown away that was the only instance of like blatant homophobia. I could not believe it. I thought to myself, we are in for a smorgasbord of homophobia. But weirdly enough, that was really the only instance. And he just says something. He makes like a stereotypical like gay voice. And he's like, oh, yeah, I think they're over there how to have some feelings for each other or something. And then they're like, they just all look at him. And then that's the end of the scene. But then we cut to... And I have some questions about this that you two might have done a little digging on, because we talked off air. I finished watching this movie like 4 minutes before we started recording. So who is this random couple that are fucking in the cabin?
Oh my God. I don't know how to answer that, but I did want to talk about this scene because this is so fucking hilarious. And also I was like, oh, the guy's wearing like a Rockstar hat, like Rockstar, like the gaming company. And I thought that was, I'm sure they really
He's got to be somebody, right?
He looks like somebody. I actually looked at his IMDb, but nothing really stood out to me, so I'm not sure. Maybe Steve knows.
At first I was like, okay, so I saw the Rockstar hat. And when we say Rockstar, we're talking about like the Rockstar is it the video game company, right?
The Grand Theft Auto.
It is,
company.
Not Rockstar Energy Drink.
Dead,
it's the video.
Dead. Yeah.
Red Dead, the bully games, or there's only one bully game, but all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, so is that like an executive or something from Rockstar who like basically helped fund the movie? So he's like, I want to be in one scene and wear a Rockstar hat. Like that just is what it felt like. But I didn't have a chance to look it up ahead of time because he looked weirdly familiar.
I actually have a picture of this too.
Yeah. But in any case, it's him and this woman, and we've not met them up to this point. We have no idea who they are. And they are both, there he is. First of all, who fucks under 2 blankets? What kind of sociopath? Unless you are freezing to death, in which case no one's having sex when it's like 30 degrees outside. But these people are fucking under 2 layers of blankets, like both of them under the blankets. I'm like, that is only cartoons and sociopaths do that. But that's what they do. And they both immediately just got. The woman goes outside. She gets munched pretty quick. And then the Sabretooth blasts through the wall of the cabin and eats his ass real fast. But we get a ton of off-screen kills in this movie, and it's just they didn't want to animate it. They didn't know how to make it look good.
No.
So that's what we get.
Yeah, but you're skipping over the best part, there's 2 good parts here, which is one that when she goes outside to like call for her cat, she's making like howling sounds. She's like, oh, like how is that supposed to get the cat to you? I don't know. But then also like this guy comes outside with the hat like on his boner, and then
I can't believe I didn't write that down.
He gets scared by the saber-tooth tiger, and so like the hat falls. And then that's when it
we've
like
all been there.
hugs him.
You lose your boner. You see a saber-tooth tiger, you lose your boner. We've all been
there. Your hat
there.
falls to the ground. This is why I don't think it was anyone at Rockstar, because I really don't think they would be okay with any of this. But then like hug kills him.
I was gonna say, I feel like if any company would be, it might be Rockstar.
Yeah. That's fair.
If they're somehow promoting GTA 3 in this movie with Sabretooth boners or whatever. But
then Sabretooth boner, great band name.
That's a shirt somehow. Sabretooth boners by GTA, and the quote is attributed to Sabretooth boners or something.
But then we find out that girl isn't even dead. Yeah. Like she gets attacked by and then later.
Maybe my favorite scene in the movie.
It's so good. Yeah, I guess we'll get to that, but that is pretty funny.
We're very close to there. Because then when they discover that it's escaped, Claudia and Stanley Kubrick, great line from one of the many great lines from Stanley Kubrick in here, which is hell's bells, what if it kills someone?
I wrote that down too.
Such an amazing theatrical British delivery.
Yeah.
And it just gets better and better.
It's so good.
They call in old Butt Chin, who's like the Great White Hunter, to figure this out. He's just a guy that Stanley Kubrick knows. Calls him up, says, "Come on over, bud. I got you help. You got to help me catch a, bag of." He's like a big game hunter kind of thing, or trophy hunter. Early on, I really loved Leon because he has no idea what to do with his hands in any scene. He's constantly like, they had that scene where they're hiking up the trail and he's in front of them all, and then he goes over to the edge and he almost falls off and all that stuff.
Oh my god,
and
that
he's
seems amazing.
talking and his hands are just doing everything.
He is wacky.
Yeah, I love
that scene.
This performer.
He's like, let's hang out on that rock over there. Like, what? And then he's like on the rock and he's like pretending to fall off, and there's like airplane sounds for some reason. It's so good.
That's probably just because there was an airplane and they didn't cut it out from the audio. They couldn't do a retake.
Yeah. They're like, we're losing sunlight. Come on, we just got let's move on. But it's funny, even as Leon, who is facing death because he's hanging off the edge, and they're all hanging on to him and he's slipping, Jason is still so horny because you have, I think it's Casey, and she's like the person in the back. She's like holding on, and he's like, got to help, to pull. They're struggling to pull Leon up, and he looks at her hips and grabs her hips and makes this like what I can only describe as a horny face. And I'm like, maybe Jason would have been the only person in existence whose Rockstar hat would not have fallen if a Sabretooth showed up. Like, you cannot kill Jason's creepy boner.
No.
Dude, this movie is very horny in general. He's not even the only one trying to get in Casey's pants, because Leon is also trying, and we know that Trent is like her ex or something. And then Trent, I guess we'll get to this, but like Trent goes off with Lola to bang. Like, they try twice.
Did not see that coming.
They never get to it. Yeah, but they're just like, okay, let's just take a walk, and it's like, oh all right.
Leon and Trent have garbage dicks, whereas like Jason is just so desperate for anybody to touch him at all.
Garbage dicks. That's a great line. Trent. I don't disagree, but I do feel like Trent does not have a garbage dick. You can't. That would just be a cruel mistake to make a person be that handsome and then have
attractive. Yeah.
He deserves it.
Dumb. That girl's so dumb because they go off to bang, and then she's like, "Come and find me" or something, and she runs off into the woods. I'm like, girl, you had Josh Holloway right there with you. Like, what are you doing?
It was such a weird scene, which we're about to get to, but we'll jump ahead a sec because she's like, I know you're in love with Casey. And she has this quick like moment. There's like this quick moment of clarity where like the power dynamic in the relationship kind of shifts, because first of all, she looks like she's 16 and he's 26. So it's like, it's a little creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's being very like, I'm the handsome older guy, and like, I'm going to take you out on a walk in the woods. And then there's this weird power dynamic shift where he's trying to be suave and she goes, I know you're in love with Casey. And it kind of disarms him. And he's like, how did you know? And she's like, really? You don't think I could know? And so all of a sudden you're like, ooh, the tables have turned on heartthrob Trent. And then she just goes, okay, and pulls her shirt off. It's like, chase me. Like, why did you do
pulls her shirt off and she runs away, and then later we just see her putting her shirt back on.
Yeah, it lasts like 10 seconds. Yeah, it's just like, that was a move that worked for her a couple times, and she just like stuck with it. That worked for me that one time. Let's do take my shirt off and y'all chase me
and run away.
I mean, it definitely would work in high school and would work on Jason. So,
yeah, it would have worked. Yeah, hook, line, and sinker on Jason. But so back to old Butt Chin. He's got so much gear, and it's so hilarious. And he's playing, and I don't remember the character's name, but the Australian
Atcher.
Yeah, the Australian. Oh no, I meant the Australian guy from.
He's playing Muldoon.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah,
from Jurassic Park. So he's got the whole vibe of Muldoon. They stumble onto the house with the Rockstar couple that was munched, and great line. Your kitty cat's got an attitude problem.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. Love that line. And then another quick line. He's batting 1,000 this scene. He's like, Catherine, by the way. I think Claudia's name's Catherine, right?
Right, yes.
Her character's name.
It is.
I keep calling she's Claudia in my notes. But she goes, he's like, Catherine. And she's like, what? He's like, it's a dead guy in here. He's been mutilated. Just like the way he delivers the line is so deadpan. And then this is where we start to understand that Claudia, aka Catherine, is straight evil, like super evil, because they find the dead body and they're like, oh my God, like, you know, we got to call the police. We got to get the freaking state troopers and the rangers and everybody out here. Claudia, she's like, okay, I'll go call them. And then she just walks up, fires her cell phone into the woods. And then you're still kind of like, oh God, yeah, like she's in this for the long haul. And then all of a sudden, this woman, the woman who was the rockstar boner guy's girlfriend who got mauled, pops out of the broad daylight, just rolls out of a bush groaning with her face just like shredded. Her face looks like pulled pork, and Claudia's like, ew, gross, and just kicks her.
She kicks dirt into her
and
open
then
wounds.
Doesn't tell anyone. Yeah, doesn't tell anyone. That's just the end of that character.
Yeah, we never see her again. She just is like, save me, and she's like, oh, gross, shut up. Just like kicks dirt in her face and isn't really surprised even. It's just like, okay, that's one of the victims. Get away from me, you're gross.
Yeah, she just came
like
across
shoves her into the bushes.
Yeah, she just came across a girl that was uglier than her, and it made her upset. Like, that's all it was. So she kicked dirt at her and ran away.
Yeah, you don't even think that has anything to do motivation with the tiger. It's just she didn't like the way she looked. She was like, ooh, get off me, ugly. Leave me alone, Uggo. Kicks dirt on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we also learned that Butt-Chin and Claudia have like a romantic past as well. So she kind of has some hold over him for that reason. And also she's like a sociopath, we now know. Okay, so Lola and Trent go on a creepy walk, which we talked about. And there's also like some creepy truth or dare happening that gets real intense real fast.
I was gonna mention, this is homophobic too, because they do the whole like, you ever slept with a girl thing?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, have you?
Yeah. And then it's like, yeah, so we do get in that. That's true. We do get a quick, only slightly milder homophobic barb. But then it's also like, have you ever been in love? Like, it just gets real personal real fast.
And then he bails like instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Casey and Trent, they're just all like, and we don't want anything to do with this, so they all kind of spread up. And then this is when the nerd gets eaten at the exact moment that she's supposed to get eaten, which we already talked about. But Lola, yeah, this is when Lola takes her shirt off and runs away. We talked about. Lola sees the Sabretooth out in the woods. When she's trying to find Trent, she's run away. She'd put her shirt on. She's like, where you at, Trent? Well, he's kind of hiding to like surprise her, but she sees the Sabretooth, shits herself. Then they find like they get back. She finds Trent. Trent's like, calm down. She's like, now I saw a big tiger, blah, 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 blah. Go back. Lola explains everything to everyone. She's panicking. Now everyone's panicking, but then Lola is not panicking anymore. She goes from the only one panicking to the only one not panicking in like 5 seconds.
And then they all just go to bed. They just go to
bed.
They
just go to bed.
They go to bed because when she gets back, they're all like wondering what happened. And someone, probably Jason, says, oh, it's just chick drama.
Yeah.
Oh, and then yeah. Great line. It's just chick drama. Bro. Thanks, Jason. Fucking incel Jason in his tent. But Jason has one of my favorite tropey lines. In the morning, Jason finds a big Sabretooth print. And so now they're even more scared. But his way of notifying them when he's off screen is, guys?
Which I love. Look at this.
I love guys. That's just one of my favorite underappreciated tropey lines. So then they find a cave, of course, decide to go in. And then there's a normal mountain lion in there.
Yeah. There's just
Why? I don't know. It could have been like, we saw a snake, we saw a spider. Any reason why they should be scared, but they see a normal mountain lion, which is literally
actual cougar.
And it's the size, the print that they saw is the size of this mountain lion's head. Like it's not even, it's not even close to the same size. But I guess that was supposed to throw them off the proverbial scent. I don't know, but
yeah, like this isn't even a full grown mountain lion. It's just like a little baby that they had. Yeah. Like it's
like. Why did they even bother bringing this in? Because they only use it for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, but
that's not cheap.
This whole scene is ridiculous. This whole scene is ridiculous because Leon spends all that time making like a torch. And she's like, I have light that we can just bring in there. And he's like, no. And this is where we get the Raiders of the Lost Ark reference. He's like, haven't you seen Raiders? And then they go in and then they say that they find, this is a direct quote from the movie, not from me, Indian markings.
Yeah.
Like on the cave wall. What? Like,
well,
anyway,
and they sit down and start reading. I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty sure I was looking at my phone during this whole scene because I'm like, why is this scene happening?
It goes nowhere. It goes nowhere.
It goes nowhere. Yeah. It's so full of padding. And like, yeah, okay, Casey is the one that points out the cave drawings to Leon, but like she's also supposed to be the most experienced with this area, and she's the one training everyone else. And then she may have had just said Injun when she looks at like it's not like she points out the particular tribe it's from or even says Native American. She just goes, hey, Leon, check out these Indian markings on the wall over here.
Yeah.
And then all this fluff ends with just a real little kitty cat. And you go, that's a lot of money. Just bring that out. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I feel like that was one of the things where like a producer, director or something that were like scouting the area that they were shooting were like, ooh, that's a cool little cave. We should use that. And then like they wrote everything and they're like, we didn't use the cave. All right, let's write this little scene in to use the cave because it's too cool not to use.
Exactly.
But Trent and Lola do have another moment where they like almost kiss and they're just no one's rooting for the couple. But we're like kind of meant to root for Lola. And it was weird because when we get introduced to the characters, a lot of them are they're all really cartoonish, maybe with the exception of Casey and Trent. Trent's like Casey's pretty straightforward. Trent is like 25% cartoon and the rest of them are like 100% cartoon. Leon, crazy hand gestures, being like super wacky and also just like very stereotypical too. Like it's a little rough early on. And then you have Jason, who's a full-on fucking cartoon. Then Lola actually early on is very cartoonish. First of all, we haven't mentioned, but she has a shirt on that just says Hottie on it.
Hottie.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, just the way she's dressed, the way she's acting is like very cartoonish early on. But then they kind of try to make her more of like the most level-headed one, but then she also has like these real earnest feelings for Trent. And you're like, where are we going with this character? Not really sure. No one's rooting for this couple, but Jason gets eaten by when he's going to do a shit. So
which is fine. Just get rid of him.
It's such a disappointing kill for the most annoying person in the movie. I wanted Jason to have something outlandish happen to him. Rip his arms off, twist his head around, do something. And he essentially gets killed off screen.
Yeah. Or at least have them find his body like ripped in half as like another jump scare. Yeah, just something that we know he died more horrifically than everybody else is what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, that character is in the movie for that reason.
Yeah, he's there to die.
You want to see it.
Yeah.
I also wanted to just mention Lola's decided form of dress she is for sure a Gwen Stefani girl of the 2000s.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And she has these really fake like Sharpie tattoos. There's like a star on her shoulder that was clearly drawn on like right before filming. So
yeah, they're like glistening. They're like like you can see the wet ink. She you're right. She is 100% a Gwen Stefani type. That's what they're going for. But I will say the one thing, even though Jason doesn't get it too rough from the Sabretooth, the rest of the clan does do him pretty dirty because he just walks off to take a shit, doesn't come back, and they just don't go look for him until morning. They just all sit around the fire with weapons, which even for Jason, like, they're doing him pretty dirty. But and then even in the morning, they're like, all right, we'll look for 20 minutes. It's like, we're going to give this guy 20 minutes. And if we don't find him, call him dead.
He's dead.
I looked for my headphones before we started recording for more than 20 minutes. Like, they were like, Jason, you're getting 20 minutes, my dude. And then you're fucking MIA.
So this is, I don't know how many people this reference is going to resonate with. But last week we talked about how Dagon is very clearly inspired by Resident Evil 4.
Mm-hmm.
In this scene where it's just the four of them walking around the woods yelling Jason over and over again, I assume has to be the inspiration for Heavy Rain.
I was going to say Heavy Rain. Oh my God. I literally thought of Heavy Rain during this. That's my favorite. Oh my God. It's so funny.
And for those who don't know, there's a scene where you're supposed to be looking for your kid and your kid's name is Jason. And so you're just wandering around pressing the X button to yell Jason.
X to say Jason.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up.
That's literally what's going on here. It's just like them standing in pine needles going, Jason!
Jason!
Jason! Jason!
It goes on. So this was like, I mean, we're getting towards the end of the movie, and like I said, I worked late today, so I'm like rushing to get this movie in at the end. Like, I watched like probably half of it while I was eating lunch today, and then just like work went on and on and on. So the last like half hour of this movie, like, if I see a part like this, I'm jumping through it. But I fast forwarded, like, did the 10-second jump ahead about 9 times, and they're still going Jason. Like, it went on for so fucking long.
True movie padding.
Yeah, they find Butt Chin in the woods. So this is the first time that the camping crew has found Butt Chin. And Butt Chin's like, don't go back there. Jason is all torn up. And they're like, oh no, Jason. His bedside manner, not great. I understand he's a Muldoon character, but they're like, hey, found Jason. And they're like, oh, cool. Where's he at? And they're like, yeah, you don't want to go back there. He's all torn up. They're like, oh no. But we never see any body. And I'm like, how fucking lazy was that? Especially Jason.
Lame.
We wanted to see him all torn up. Claudia explains, basically at this point, Claudia comes out as like, no, I'm pure ass evil. Like, I'm fully evil to Kubrick. And now he's like all scared of her and stuff. Perhaps besides tore up lady getting dirt kicked in her face by Claudia, this might be my favorite scene, which is Lola's death is weirdly so mean. It's like her and Trent are out there, and again, they're like trying to get romantic all the time. It's just like never happening. So you're getting this idea that's like this like missed, like the timing isn't working out for them to like have their first romantic smooch. And all of a sudden, Tiger unceremoniously jumps out, grabs her by the fucking face. Well, they're actually climbing up. They're like trying to climb up a rock, and he's like, I think, boosting her up, and all of a sudden it just bites her actual face, like the front of her head, and she's just like, and it's just eating her head, and Trent can't do anything. It grabs her, drags her, runs off with her. We never see her again. It's just such a mean, unceremonious death for Lola.
Yeah.
They kind of foreshadow this earlier in the movie where they're like, it can open its jaws enough to like fit in like a human head or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of know to expect it. But I will say that right after this happens, one of my favorite lines of dialogue occurs from Trent, and he says, it's one of those dinosaurs, those tigers with the teeth. It's like, dinosaurs? Like,
is that how you would describe that? If you saw that in the woods, would you go, oh no,
thought?
Dinosaur? If you were in a group of people and you saw that and somebody went, oh no, dinosaur, everybody would look at you like, what? Sir, which dinosaur?
Trent is getting like a hot guy pass for a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that he starts the film doing karate. His beard is patchy, and we later see his other decisions about karate. So
yeah, he makes one of the boldest karate decisions in film history, which we're going to get to in a second. Well either. It doesn't go great. It honestly could have went way worse.
Yeah, could have.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I imagine after this, Trent on his resume for future guide positions wrote under one of his strengths, makes bold karate decisions. Like that is one of his biggest skill sets.
He doesn't even do that. He just says decisive. He's like, I'm decisive.
That's how he thinks of himself. I don't even want to spoil what happens. We're gonna get there.
We'll get there.
So it's Kubrick gets pretty unceremoniously, but like the comedic timing of this Sabretooth tiger is wonderful because it's always like mid-sentence somebody just gets blasted. Yep. And weirdly enough, this time it's butt chin, but it knocks him down, but then it goes after Kubrick and does the same face rip routine on Kubrick. And we actually do see like a really fucked up dismembered body. I think it's supposed to be his. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. It went later, but anyway, great scene here. They stumble upon this mine shaft. Chekhov's mine shaft, I'll call it.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got to go into the mine shaft, of course. Just when you see a mine shaft, how can you not go in?
Right.
And it's now just Casey, Trent, and Leon are the only ones left. And Butt-Chin, but he's off, separate at this point. And Claudia, but again, they're off separate. Just as far as the camping group, those are the only ones left. They go in and they're like, Claudia runs into the mine shaft. Trent's going to help him. And they're kind of getting cornered by the tiger. And Leon's like, no, go save Casey. You go save Casey. I'll handle this tiger. And he's got two big, like a Bowie knife and like a machete. And he gets the most insane, like, influx of confidence. He just decides he's gonna knife
like
fight.
Squares off with it.
Yeah.
So
not like I'm gonna hide around the corner and jump out and snag it.
No.
He just goes like, I'm about to just nuck until I buck with this motherfucking tiger.
This scene
with this prehistoric tiger.
Dinosaur tiger.
Dinosaur.
This scene is the exact opposite of Billy Bear in Predator. Like, in Predator, Billy Bear pops open his shirt and he takes the knife and he cuts his chest and you go, holy fuck, this dude's gonna fight the Predator. And of course we don't see it, but like in that scene, Schwarzenegger, he has all the faith and confidence in Billy Bear. He's like, all right, man, if that's what you're going to do, I'm going to get everybody else out. And he just lets it go. Trent and Casey could not have less faith in Leon at this moment.
They're like, don't do this.
And
like,
rightfully so.
Yeah, the
Leon,
right.
You've showed no evidence that this is going to go well.
Yeah. At no point have you knife fought anything else on this camping trip. Like, it wasn't a thing where he saved them from a snake. Like, what's the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where he plucks the snake out of the jungle?
I
can't remember it at the moment. But
I want to say Double Team. It's not Double Team, but
yeah, whatever. But at no point has he shown any adeptness with his knives that were like makes him a danger. It's just he just has them. Yeah, it's hard target.
Mm-hmm. Hard target. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, he just has the knives. He doesn't have any like. And then we watch him fight, and his method of fighting is to stab the teeth.
Yeah. So my thought was that he was going to go like, okay, it's just sheer bravery. Okay, he's going to be brave because we've established Trent. He at least tries some karate, but he's advised Leon, don't even try karate. You ain't a karate guy. But when he pulls out the knives, I thought he was going to go just Lisa Simpson. Like I'm spinning around. Yeah, just spinning fists. But he doesn't. He tries to cut the most impenetrable part of the animal he goes after. It's like if you were fighting a turtle and you're like, I'm going to punch it right in the top middle of the shell. Like, that's got to be its weak spot. But then Leon also, the tiger pins him up against the wall and's got the paws right on his chest. And you think he's going to drag it down or do something and just like rip his chest open. Nope. He just essentially uses his giant tiger claws as like a rapier or something. And just like, yeah. And just like does the least damage possible. And of course, he dies. Leon's dead from that.
He like just the tiger just like barely punctures his chest.
Yeah.
And then he's like spitting up blood and he just died. I'm like, how deep did those claws go? Are you kidding?
That's what my question was. That a tiger flex? Like in the tiger world, was he like, I have the longest claws? And of course, cats, retractable, they have kind of retractable claws, right?
Yeah.
So the idea was his retractable claws so long that he could just go put it on his chest and go cha-ching and use it like a freaking old school, butterfly knife type of things, switchblade. Is that what it was? Because I was I don't know, some sort of weird tiger flex is the only thing I could figure out.
Inexplicable. It's so inexplicable. Yeah,
it does not read well at all, especially because that, like Leon doesn't even drop his knives or anything. He just stands there and lets it happen, and then you think, oh, he's going to get like one dying stab on the tiger before it rakes his chest open. No, he just goes, you've gotten me. You've defeated me, sir. You are the better man. And then just
touche, tiger. Yeah.
You've won the day, sir.
I thought Leon was definitely getting some sort of little redemption, but no.
Nope.
So Butt Chin shows up. Because now Trent is like trapped in the mine shaft between like, I don't know, some rocks or something. And he can't get out because the tiger is, of course, blocking the exit. But he's still kind of like protected. He's just out of the tiger's reach. But it's only a matter of time before I guess the tiger's going to get in there. I don't know. Casey's up top and there's like a hole down into the mine shaft, which... First of all, this isn't a mine shaft. Why are we calling this a mine shaft? This is just a weird configuration of rocks that have like a couple boards in front of it. And I'm like, guys, I've seen mine shafts. This ain't no mine shaft. Who are you trying to fool? But she's up on top of this elevated rock and there's like an opening where she could see down and she's trying to reach. She can't reach him. Butt Chin shows up and is like, I got a tranquilizer. He's got his equipment, right? So he's got this like tranquilizer. Why doesn't he use a tranquilizer gun? I don't know. But he's only has like this weird spear thing with like a hypodermic needle on it. It just looks so janky. But they do get it in the paw or something of the tiger. So it like tranquilizes the tiger, but just momentarily, but just long enough where Casey and Trent can escape. And then they run down and they're going to wait for the tiger to come out of the quote unquote mine shaft. And Butt Chin's going to be there ready to shoot it when it comes out. When it comes out, click. Claudia has taken the ammunition out of his gun because she is the most evil person who's ever lived. And he's like, son of a bitch. I forget what he says, but he's pissed off. He knows immediately Claudia did it. Casey and Trent, so Casey, Trent, Claudia are off running, and they're like, "Oh, where's Butt Chin?" And she's like, "Fuck him, he's dead." And they're like, "No, we got to go back and save him." And they're like, "Well, you're dumb." They go back to save him, and Claudia's like, "Whatever, losers, fuck you," and she takes off. Butt Chin has a bum leg now because, of course, got attacked by the tiger.
Well, he fell down a hill and then into one of the bear traps that they were.
Oh, that's right. It was a bear trap.
Yeah.
Which he just gets back out of and then is okay. So,
do you think that's the first time Butt Chin got hit by a bear trap? That's like the third time this week. That's like a regular. That's like stubbing your toe for him.
Yeah.
He did seem like mildly annoyed.
Yeah, he did. He was kind of nonplussed by the bear trap, but he's hobbled a little bit. So they meet back up. And Claudia's like, "You're alive." And he just fucking open hand slaps her. Just gives her a healthy slap in the face, which I did not see coming, and I am slightly ashamed to say I laughed out loud.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah, she's obviously the most evil person in the world, but she's like, "You're alive," and he just was like, kind of gives her this like grin, and then just fucking bangs, fucking cups her ear.
Yeah.
She goes down, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill your fucking cat." That's the quote.
Yeah.
And Claudia's like, "No, you won't." She holds him at gunpoint. Okay, so this is our moment. She's holding him at gunpoint. She's like, "You can't. I'm not gonna let you do that. That my creation, the Sabretooth, the titular Sabretooth, it's too valuable. I won't let you do this." She's holding Butt Chin at gunpoint. Trent and Casey are standing there like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" In the most inexplicable decision in film history, Trent decides he is left with but only one recourse, and that is a motherfucking roundhouse kick. And I shat myself. He roundhouse kicks Claudia, whiffs, she shoots him. And I was pissing my pants laughing because I thought he was dead initially. I was hoping he was dead. But it is so funny to have somebody pointing, not at you, but somebody else at gunpoint. And in my mind, in my character development that I built in my head of Trent, he's sitting there like, fuck. And then he just had this moment of clarity again. What would Walker Texas Ranger do?
Absolutely. That's what it is.
Yeah. And he goes, "I know. I've seen this 1,000 times." Literally the ending of if you're too young and you've never seen Walker Texas Ranger, I watched it every week as a kid. It's my favorite show. Every single episode was solved with a roundhouse kick.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of items he roundhouse kicked out of people's hands is commensurate exactly with the number of episodes there are in the series. It was every single episode. So I imagine Trent went, "There's only one choice here, guys."
Yeah.
Fucking roundhouse. Spins the slowest developing move you can possibly do. Of course, she turns and shoots him as he's roundhousing. He
like,
goes down.
Fuck?
He goes down. I'm pissing myself. The tiger shows up at that exact moment.
Again, funniest tiger ever, because it shows up on top of a rock, looking down at all of them like, what the hell's going on over here, guys?
What are you guys doing down here? Did he just roundhouse her? And the tiger jumps on Claudia, starts mauling her, and her comments while she's getting mauled are also hilarious. She's like, "Oh my God, get it off of me." Like, it's just like, it's the wrong tone for what's happening to her.
Right before that, she's like trying to shoo it away.
Yeah.
Like she's like still trying to save it or something. She's like, go on, go. Like, was that ever going to work ever in any version of this? She's
treating it like it's a bee at a barbecue. Like, get away from me. Can somebody get this off of me? Meanwhile, she's getting like disemboweled.
Yeah.
So, and she just gets dragged away, and then that's the end of Claudia. We never see her again.
Just quickly back to Trent though, because we didn't make mention of the fact that he's already been bit and clawed by the tiger.
Yeah.
So he's already like fucked up and bleeding, and Claudia is holding basically like a giant Dirty Harry 357 Magnum. Like huge. It's not like it's not like a little 9mm pistol or anything. It is a punch a hole in your chest type gun. So I too also thought he was fucking dead when he takes one right in the chest from
like to the chest.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like she hit his arm.
Later they're like, "Don't worry, it went straight through."
Like went straight through his chest.
Okay.
What? Straight through his heart and both lungs? What the fuck are you talking about? But I just love that Trent is the exact type of guy who would make that stupid decision and still somehow survive. Like, it just felt so appropriate for his character.
I was right before he makes that choice. I was picturing him as like Paul from Dagon, where he's always like, there's two possibilities. Like there's two choices here. Like in one, I can roundhouse kick. And the other one, I don't know. We all die from the tiger or the gun. Like,
actually, in his mind is two choices. I don't roundhouse and we die, or I do roundhouse and we all live. There's no other options outside of his head.
Yep.
There's but one recourse. Claudia's fucking done. Butt Chin comes in. They have a little fight scene where they're on top of a couple of rocks and they're just hitting it with rocks and sticks. And finally, Butt Chin does probably kind of the most awesome thing in the movie, which is he gets the spear, holds it down in like this oh boy, what is this like? Is that like an old like Roman battle tactic or something, or where like when the horses?
Yeah, it's like an old spear tactic.
Yeah, when when horses would charge, then all of a sudden everybody drops their bows and pulls up the spears, and so it basically does that. The tiger pounces on him, he pulls up the spear, spears it, but then also uses the momentum to throw it backwards off the rock. And I was like, that was pretty fucking sick. I mean, the tiger looked like shit, but it was a sick move.
It also makes a cool thunk sound as its head bashes off the rock as it goes over the top.
Yeah. And I just wrote it. This was kind of awesome. ... If this was a PS2 game, like that's exactly as awesome as it's going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's a cool cutscene.
Trent is inexplicably going to be okay. Despite being shot in the chest with a .44 Magnum from close range. He's good. He's like, it's just a flesh wound. He's like smiling about it. He's comfy.
He walks out.
So walks out. Yeah, he walks out. He's in better shape than Butt Chin. Casey gives him a sexy smooch because he's earned it.
Yeah.
And Butt Chin is pissed because they're doing sexy smooch time. And they walk off. And the music is strongly suggesting that something else is going to happen. It does not. That's the end.
They just had music left over. It's all they did. They just had music left over. In my notes, I have, as far as like, it just like, okay, Trent is clawed, bit, shot, and just generally worn out. And then Thatcher comes up with his little leg boo-boo, and he's like, oh, what about me? What about me? And it's like, all right, needy. Yeah, you're hurt too.
We get it. You're also hurt. I was shot from close range with a high caliber pistol.
I had to let my previous girlfriend get eaten up by the Sabretooth cat. And then
don't worry. Yeah, don't worry, backup girlfriend. I'm covered. Luckily, I always take 2 girlfriends everywhere I go.
Well, that's how Trent was prepared. Trent brought 2 girlfriends, but
that's what I meant. Yeah, Trent. Trent brings 2 girlfriends everywhere he goes.
Yeah, but Thatcher didn't have 2 girlfriends. Thatcher only had 1 girlfriend, and she got eaten up by the tiger. Now he has no girlfriends. Yep. And Casey doesn't. I was actually surprised Casey didn't wind up with him. I thought for sure because he's the bigger, more handsome, not trying to kick guns man.
Yeah, he seems a little smarter, but you know what? She's the type of gal who's impressed by a good roundhouse kick, and I don't blame her.
It wasn't good though. He missed.
Or a bad one. Yeah. But bad.
I shouldn't have said good, just a roundhouse kick in general. Yeah. She's not
a completed roundhouse.
Yes, he completed the motion.
Well, that is Sabretooth from 2002. Kelly, thank you for bestowing such a treat on us. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on the movie before we wrap this up? Anything that just you feel like must be known? Have we or I assume we haven't figured anything out regarding the Rockstar guy. I think that's our mystery we need to work on for next week.
I will say there is a funny line that we missed that Gimli says, which is just, I hate the poor. Yeah. Which is just pretty funny.
He has so many. Honestly, we could do a whole episode just on his quotes. Like, he just has so many crazy theatrical British accent quotes.
It's
He's hamming it up.
It's so wild. I don't know exactly when filming is on all this, but like this film comes out in between Fellowship and The Two Towers. So like,
yeah, I noticed that too. I assumed this was probably done before that.
Maybe.
And then they just sat on it for a little bit. I don't know.
Maybe he filmed all his stuff in New Zealand for The Lord of the Rings. And because those films took so much like editing and post stuff that, he just came back to America and did this on a whim. So I don't know. I don't know which way it goes.
Maybe he was like camping at Big Bear Lake, and
he
then
just happened to be there.
People yeah.
I feel like he's just out here for. Listen, you don't get 300 credits on IMDb for not working. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
True.
You say yes to everything.
Just in it. He's in it for the love of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's a hustler.
Yeah. You never know what's going to hit, the Lord of the Rings series or Sabretooth. Either way, it could be a big paycheck for you.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. What if there is, if you subscribe to string theory and multiple the infinite universes are out there, and every single universe with just one slight difference. There is a universe out there where Sabretooth was the movie that was set the box offices ablaze. You know what I mean? And he's famous for that. So. And
for Josh too, instead of Lost, it was always Sabretooth.
It's always Sabretooth for him. Yeah. Lost never hit.
Yeah. Or same thing. Like there is a universe where Sabretooth put all these people on the map.
Yep.
All right. Before we wrap this up, Kellie, tell everyone once again, remind them where they can find you and the Final Girls podcast on the social medias and the podcast catchers and all those things.
First of all, thank you so much for having me again. I am so thrilled that we got to talk about this fucking movie that I have loved for years and regularly impose upon people because it's just so much fun. So I had a blast talking about this, and I will make sure to tell Sarah that she should maybe watch it just for fun. If she doesn't have too many movies. We watch so many fucking movies nowadays. It's like a constant thing, which of course is fine. But so yeah, you can find our podcast at final-girls.com. We link everything from there. You can find it on Spotify or Pocket Casts or Apple or wherever you listen. You can find us on Instagram at Final Girls the Podcast or on Blue Sky at Final Girls Podcast. We're most active on Blue Sky, so if you want to like interact with us, that's the best place to do it. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
No, check them out. It's a lovely show. I've been listening to it for the last several weeks here since it was on our radar, and super fun show. So thank you once again for coming on. This was super fun. We would not have been introduced to this film without you. So it was super fun to have you on. And you guys got to agree to come back and do another one. Maybe we'll do a comparative podcast where we talk about Sabretooth versus Uninvited, like my two new favorite kitty cat movies.
Perfect.
All right. For the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
Steve.
I was their guest, Kellie. Hi.
All right. See you later, spookies. Bye.
Bye.